Welcome to Type C Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be unboxing the Alienware AW3225QF. If at any point during the video you want to check out this exact same monitor, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. But let's get into this 4K QD-OLED. Getting into the box, a beast of a monitor spec-wise. Let's put this down. And we always have a great unboxing experience with Dell or Alienware. We have some paperwork in here. Then we have the bottom of the stand. Quite a large stand, does come out quite a bit, but we've seen this stand before. I personally really like Alienware stands, but some of them do tend to come quite a bit out from the monitor, so it does kind of limit desk space. So that might be a candidate for a monitor arm. However, very premium looking stand. We have metal interior, plastic exterior, but it's a really nice color and it's matte and it feels nice. We have black on the bottom, but good amounts of rubberization there and a high quality thumb screw and cables through the bottom. So this is really great with cable management. I think I've used this stand a few times before on some different monitors. We then have the other side of the stand, pulling this out. Now getting into the top part of the stand. Feels very heavy and expensive as we expect from Alienware. And there it is, again, this beautiful color. I don't think video really shows it off as well as it actually looks. Alienware on the side here. Ooh, a little scuff there. I've never seen that once on any Alienware monitor. Obviously, that probably wouldn't be too big of a deal, just ask for a replacement, but that's interesting. Never seen that before, ever. We have the pass-through here. So let's put this stand together. You line them up very easily and then slide them in. And look at how seamless that is. That's just cool. Look at that design. I love it. Then take the thumb screw. You can screw it in just with your fingers. You do not need a screwdriver for this. It's a high quality thumb screw. And there we go. Now come close here and we can see this is where the cable management is going to come up from, which is actually pretty high off the ground because this part is, you can see that's where it's flat. But then they actually come up through the bottom, which really hides the cables quite well. I have used this stand before, so I do know that for certain, but obviously you'll be able to see when it's on the desk. Also in the box, we get a display port, USB Type B to USB Type A. This is an upstream cable, and then an HDMI cable, and I believe this is a 2.1. Also in the box, we have the power cable, which is just a power cable, does not have an integrated power supply along it. So no power brick here, it's all integrated, which I love. Then this is something I typically never use, but if you have a setup that's not facing the back of a wall, so my monitor's gonna be facing back here, but if it's in the middle of the room, which I know a lot of people love doing, this is gonna completely hide those cables. Mix this with this type of cable management, and you're cableless, plus you get the cool RGB on the back of this monitor. For those kinds of setups, I never really do them. I'm not really sure why. I just prefer against the wall, but if you don't, this is really quite good. I never end up putting mine on, but it's cool that it's included. Now we have this little Alienware box. Ooh, we have, I think for the first time ever I've seen that, a little microfiber cleaning cloth for the screen itself. That's pretty cool. And interestingly enough, it wasn't in the box, that was beneath it. Now let's open this little box up and we've got a Alienware sticker and some paperwork. Very good. But enough of that, let's get to the panel itself. They make it really easy to attach the stand, already being pre-cut right there. Take it, line it up with the top, push it in, press down. Now pulling the monitor out of the box, we're gonna take this plastic off, and I love the back's design. I love the white here, contrast black. If you wanna get full white on the back, then you can put that cover on. You have the Alienware, very small Alienware. I think it used to be bigger, but that's interesting. And then we have 32 right over there for that 32-inch screen size. Technically it's a little bit smaller, but let's take the plastic off. This is curved, which I don't remember if the 27-inch variant of this QD-OLED was also curved. I just can't remember. I think it was flat though. However, this is not too much more, although value-wise, the 27-inch is gonna win 100% of the time, but this one is about $1,200 at the time of filming. And there we go. Oh yes, a curved, glossy finish again. Doesn't have that polarization layer. So in a brighter room like we're in now, it's gonna give that purplish look. You can see it on camera and it's gonna give that purplish look, and that means the blacks aren't gonna be as deep OLED black. They're not going to appear that way. The pixels will be off, but you can see without that monitor even on it, it has that purplish effect. That's really the only big con with these QD OLEDs from Dell. Still, my favorite OLEDs in the entire game right now well, I don't know if this one is specifically, but the 27-inch and that 34-inch ultra-wide, they came out a little bit ago, although I think the 27-inch was just a little bit better, but let's get this on the desk. The cool thing here is you can see my mouse cable here actually fits under it because it has some space, which is kind of cool. Now, the feet actually don't come out as much as I expected because that stand is so far backwards, but still, it is gonna limit desk space. We're gonna get this hooked up. We're gonna do an initial impressions of the menu system, gaming impressions, and then we're gonna do a ghosting test, although we know it's gonna do well. But before we do that, let's test out the stand. We have height, it's nice and smooth like you would expect. We have tilt and a great amount of tilt. Do we have swivel? Yes, we do, and it feels great. It's a little bit firm as it does move the stand a little bit. Really the only complaint. And then does it have rotation? Nope, no rotation here, probably because it's a huge monitor. But with that, let's get it set up and test this thing out. Now that on the desk, one thing I forgot to mention is we have ports, obviously two HDMI 2.0s, a display port 1.4, and then we get some USBs with some of them being one USB Type A on the chin right here, and then a USB-C even on the chin right here. That is great for charging your headset or plugging in really whatever you want. You can even plug in a headset because it has an upstream port. So if you connect that data USB Type B, you're green to green, dude. But with that, let's turn this puppy on. There we go, booting up. And again, remember, with the room that we're in right now, we're not gonna get full deep blacks because of not having that polarization layer, but that's something that we get with these QD-OLEDs. Now, right with it booted up, I'm gonna tell you right away, the image quality is as good. Visually, just first impressions, it looks as good as the 27-inch variant, but the slight curve, the 32-inch screen size has me falling in love immediately. Let's go in. It's a little dim right now, but I do think that it can, yeah. So it's a 75, let's turn it up, and it gets quite a bit brighter. Not a crazy amount brighter, but this is a brightness where the LG, I wasn't happy with theirs. Any of them really. The Corsair variation, nothing against Corsair and nothing against LG, but it just wasn't bright enough. This is just right. It's enough. Even in a bright room like this, we're not gonna get the blacks, but I do think the brightness is good enough. It does obviously do a lot better in a completely dark room or a dimmer room. Let's go through here. We have game with our different preset modes, FPS, mobile RTS, RPG, sports, creator. That's pretty cool. We have our different color spaces in here as well as our gamma controls, which is awesome. This is a calibrated monitor. We have our different custom settings here, so we can go in there, we can adjust all of our color gain, our offset, hue, saturation, dark stabilizer. That's really cool. We have a warm, cool, and then a custom color. We're gonna keep it in standard for right now. It does actually look like it, yeah, reverted back to lower brightness, so let's bump back up. Then we also have input, although it does have auto input. We have our RGB lighting, which is kind of cool. Our HDR here, looks like we have Dolby Vision, which is very cool. Picture in picture, picture by picture. Some of our menu settings, these are shortcut keys, which I don't think they have. It's just kind of like a legacy thing that they haven't gotten rid of. And then we have this, which is cool. So this is the OLED like panel maintenance, that's what they call it. So the pixel refresh essentially, we have pixel refresh and panel refresh. This monitor has a bunch of those things that's going to try to mitigate the OLED burn-in. Probably won't work 100%. Right, it's probably gonna burn in, but it'll probably mitigate the time until it burns in. But we can see here on these bezels, the screen, the actual screen actually goes a little bit to right there, but there's this gap right here. If we go to this side, there is no gap here. So the entire image will switch just by 1 pixel over, up, and down, kind of like this. You almost never notice it unless you're just staring at the background, but it is a cool feature that kind of helps mitigate burn-in, especially with stuff like your icon bar down there. Now let's go into NVIDIA control panel because I can tell this is not doing full refresh rate. We are at 3840 by 2160, and the one thing I will say here is, let's bump this up to its full 240, there for sure is text clarity issues. However, this is significantly better than the 27-inch variant, which was already significantly better than the previous variant, the 34-inch ultra-wide QD-OLED that Alienware made. So this one, and I really just think it's resolution. It's, you know, the text is crisper, those pixels are tighter together, and you barely notice it. If I'm looking from this distance, I can see the green and the red separating, but otherwise not at all. Let's see if this thing can output 10 bits of color, and it can at full refresh rate and resolution. The colors on this are fantastic. This is factory calibrated. I will be testing that in the full review, so subscribe below for that coming in a few days, probably around a week. However, this is a stunning monitor. I love the slight curve. Let's do some gaming. All right, now I am getting some reflections because of the mirrors, but oh my God. right away, the experience on this is, I personally love big screens. I loved slightly curved monitors. This is freaking phenomenal. The 4K-ness of this mixed with the absolutely phenomenal image quality, the best in the industry right now. No one else is doing it better than Dell. This is such an amazing experience when compared to the 27-inch variant. If you're comparing this to LG, don't even do it. Buy this over the LG. This is phenomenal. This is for sure my favorite experience. It is so clear. The image is so absolutely vibrant. We're not even in HDR. This is just SDR. The image is so vibrant. Oh, it's so fun. Oh my God, this monitor is probably the most impressive monitor that I have used in years. I mean, this thing is truly phenomenal. Oh my God. The clarity here is absolutely amazing. The 1440p monitor is phenomenal. And honestly, the 27-inch is a much better value. But if you want one of the most beautiful display, I literally don't know if I've seen a more beautiful display. It's slightly curved. It's extremely immersive because of the large screen. It has that resolution. Everything is absolutely clear. Even if you're doing a 4K 32-inch monitor that is like an IPS panel, you know, that's still very, very clear. It doesn't have the clarity mixed with this resolution. Typically, you'll have matte finishes. And this one, because of the glossy finish, even without having the windows completely closed, it's a slightly dimmer. We did turn off the lights. I mean, it is just so, so impressive. That's even without seeing it in absolute black, in its best environment. That says a lot. Brightness overall, it could be a little bit brighter, but honestly, that shouldn't be a determining factor here. It's too good without being a lot brighter. Obviously, HDR should increase the brightness in the highlights a little bit. We'll have to see, but oh my Lord, this is fun, guys. This is incredibly fun. Oh God, this is a very good monitor. It's hard for me to talk because this is amazing. So Dell did send this to us. But like we've done with all of our monitors, we tell them we're gonna review it. It might be good, it might be bad. We're just gonna review it objectively. And they're great with that. They're really nice about that. I am going to ask them if we can do a long-term test with this. And if not, I might just buy this monitor and do a long-term test to check out OLED burn-in, as well as just a long-term, maybe like a 6-month and 1-year update to see if an OLED's worth the price like this. Image quality, you're just not gonna beat it currently right now. When micro LEDs and things like that come out, maybe, but at the time being, this might be one of the most beautiful monitors I've ever used. The bar here was just risen so much. Oh, look at the reflections in the water. Everything is so clear. If you don't really understand display technology, even though you get a lot of other 4K 32-inch monitors that are IPS or VA, they're not going to have the level of clarity that this OLED is, but basically because it's glossy. If you had an IPS panel that was glossy, you're gonna have a similar experience too. Probably not gonna be quite as good as this because the colors, I mean, are just so freaking vibrant without seeming like they're oversaturated. I mean, God, the flowers are pretty. The sky's blueness, I mean, the highlights even there look like they're getting decently bright, but probably not what it's gonna be in HDR. The experience out of the box, holy crap, guys. I mean, oh my Lord. I just wanna walk around. The difference here with the greens, the dark, this is really good. Now, I didn't really recommend the LG OLED pretty much at all because it had a matte finish. It wasn't even beautiful, not even a tenth of what this is because it's glossy. If you get an OLED, you have to do glossy. The LG also had one of the thickest matte coatings. I think it's the thickest matte coating I still have ever seen. It was wild. And you guys know, I'm really, really opinionated with OLEDs because I don't like that companies are selling a technology that objectively has problems with it. It has burn-in problems. It probably will burn in. But if we do a long-term test, we might see kind of how much that's going to progress. And for me, yes, $1,200 is a lot. $1,200 for that experience, that is very, very hard to argue with. That is a really freaking amazing experience. And perfect world for me, if they made a 38-inch ultra-wide that has a 4K resolution, everything like that, that would be my absolute like God tier monitor. If it burned in a year, I would buy one every year. It would be worth it. This is, from first impressions, it's that good. It's 240 Hertz, it's 4K. Yes, I'm running it with a 4090, but if you're spending that kind of money on this, you probably have something like a 4080 or 4090 anyway. And yeah, you're probably going to need it. I wouldn't get this monitor unless you have a like very high level graphics card. With that, the ghosting, you know, it's very, very smooth. Not quite as smooth as like the 360 Hz variant, the 27-inch, but I would for sure every day take this over the 27 if money is no object. Value-wise, this is a better deal 10 out of 10 times. But Lord, is this a good gaming experience. Oh my gosh, I'm so impressed with this. I'm so impressed with this. Obviously, we haven't done full tests, but it just seems like it's going to be very, very hard for this not to be a monitor that I'm going to recommend, but we'll see. Let's do a ghosting test. All right, so as expected, it is crystal clear. It's just about as good as you're going to get. I have said this before, don't make this the reason that you're going to get an OLED, because compared to fast IPS panels, it's really not that big of an actual difference, even if you're a pro player. This stuff has been proven at this point, but yeah, it's absolutely crystal clear. It is fantastic. I'm very excited to review this monitor. Again, if you want to check it out before the full review, Amazon links below. And in about a week, we're going to be going through doing tests, checking to see if there's any issues or anything like that. And that will all be in the full review. But so far, incredibly impressed with this monitor. And let me know in the comments below if you do want to see a long-term test, probably a couple of videos doing like a 1 month or 2 month update, a 3 or 6 month update, and then a 1 year update on burn-in and just overall experience if I think it's worth it, as well as possibly doing a video with maybe someone that hasn't used an OLED before and see from a fresh perspective, not a reviewer, if they think it's worth it or if the image quality is like what reaction they would have. I think that would be really cool because OLEDs are different in that way. But yeah, this is Type-C Tech Reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next video.